think I'm live. All right. Just got back from the bar. I'm in Blythe, Blytheville, Arkansas. My last stop was in Missouri, like at that little, I don't know, like part that sticks out, I guess. At this place called Caruthersville, Missouri, right next to a casino, actually. Uh, but anyway, earlier tonight, I guess, I was watching this. They go break down like the Avengers and how like each Avenger has like a different like aspect to them, kind of like the seven deadly sins almost. Um, and I've been talking about Doctor Doom recently, right? Um, but yeah, they break down each one. It's actually kind of interesting. I think that seems to be like the topic of human consciousness right now, and also predictive programming. And yeah, the second thing I wanted to go over is Windows 11. I mean, I shouldn't even talk about this. But yeah, Windows 11, horrible. Uh, the person that invented this phrase right here, with a link in like privacy statements and stuff, like when you get your little terms and conditions from the Windows or Google or whatever, they always had that little statement: "Learn more here." Whoever invented that has to go. That's the first person that gets taken out. That shit drives me insane. It's like the reason why I can't stand programming anymore. It's like the industry standard has become uh, safety and security, safe and effective. We're gonna hold your hand and then patronize you when you want to like figure something out. They'll say, "Oh, learn more here." I fucking hate that more than anything. That's like my biggest pet peeve about the entire internet. Anyway, I was dealing with that earlier today. That's why. Uh, predictive programming. I was actually talking about this on 4chan like 2 nights ago about the Hunter x Hunter. I made a video about it a while ago and how Hunter x Hunter has a whole part about 9/11 in it, and the guy published that part 3 or 4 months before it actually happened, and it's like identical. But there's no planes or anything like that. A twin tower building named the Cemetery Building gets blown up in September of '01, where uh, two assassins that use a symbol that's a six-sided star. They enter a room and they fight a guy literally named Lucifer, who's standing on the stage waiting for him. And then they fight, and the end of the fight, the building blows up. And it's a twin tower building, and the name of the city is York New City. And this happened in like May of 2001. That's when it was published. But in the story, it happens in September 2001. That was 4 months before 9/11 ever happened. So predictive programming is what people were saying on 4chan. I don't think that's. I don't think predictive programming is what people think. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I don't think predictive programming is what people think. In my opinion, it's like it's more like the creator just or like consciousness talking, telling you what's gonna happen, or like you're like tapped in. Like I think Togashi, the guy who wrote Hunter x Hunter, was just really tapped in to like human consciousness. That's why it seems like he predicted it. I don't know. But yeah, predictive programming, they go into that about the Avengers, right? So I always talk about Doctor Doom, but for some reason I started looking for topics for tonight, and I went into like old posts I had that I never published, and one of them was I made my own tarot card deck, and that's what I want to go through because as I was like sprucing this up, I was listening to the Avengers thing like the last hour, and they would say the word fool exactly when I would be fixing the card I had for fool. The fool is the only card I'm keeping from the real tarot card deck. It's the only one I kept because I think that one works better than all. But here, I guess this stream is. I'll go over. Well, I made this like a year ago. I don't remember even what the caption said. I just added a few pictures just to like clean it up. It's not even published. It's just my draft. I'm gonna go through it though. Zero, the zero card, the fool, and I had a video about this guy named Lord Timothy Dexter. It's this guy right here, and I didn't even notice it at the time, but check this out. The fool, he's got a staff and a little dog that follows him around. This dude's got a staff and a little dog that follows him around. He's the perfect representation of the fool. The guy was a billionaire from the 1700s that if you look him up, Lord Timothy Dexter, you look him up, every video about him is like making fun of him as like the dumbest billionaire ever. You can't become a billionaire and be dumb. And this guy used to he owned his own newspaper. He's from Newburyport, Massachusetts. I think it was maybe Connecticut. I don't know. Newburyport though. And he was made a lord by his own people, not by a king, by the people of the town. They named him a lord, and he he was really like quirky and all these weird stuff he would do. Like I can talk about him for a while, but he basically he funded the entire American Revolution. That's why he's made fun of. He was the chief financier for the entire American Revolution. America doesn't exist without Lord Timothy Dexter. He funded the entire U.S. continental currency, and when no one else would. He put all of his money into it, and we won. So then he became even more of a billionaire. But he was the main financer. And if you want a founding father, it's him. He's the founding father of the entire America, in my opinion. And he's the fool. So they could like, he kind of did it as like a liability shield too. He used to, he had a pamphlet where he writes like a second grader trying to like sound out the words. Like instead of the word general, he spells it JNREL. And then like he doesn't use any punctuation or capitalization. And people complained about it. So he made a second edition. And in his second edition, it's he had one page and it just has period, 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 exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, question mark, question mark, question. It goes through every single punctuation. And then at the end of it, he says, people complain about my first edition, about it not having punctuation. Well, here you go. Here's some punctuation. Sprinkle it in where you see fit. That was that was the second edition. The guy is fucking hilarious. But they like had to call him a fool because he acted like a fool. And the name of his what I'm trying to say is the name of his pamphlet was called a it wasn't spelled incorrectly. It was called A Pickle for the Knowing Ones. And the pickle that he was in was that he was awoke, like he was woke, not woke, I guess. Yeah, I guess woke or whatever. But no one else was. No one else could like figure stuff out. Like he was the only one that was like woken to like the spiritual realm and all that stuff. So he didn't know how to like communicate with other people. And he was a billionaire, so he didn't know how to like talk to people. So the method he figured out to actually get through to people publicly without the church just like killing him was to just act like a second grader and make a pamphlet and send that out so everyone will just laugh about it. But people that actually got it would actually learn something from it. And he had like he had it was like a liability shield too, where they couldn't actually accuse him of anything because then you're just accusing the town idiot, right? Anyway, he was the fool. This is what I read. The fool is simultaneously the most useless card and most important card. No one can fully comprehend if the fool is a genius or a can you say that word on YouTube? The most important thing to remember is that you have absolutely nothing at all whatsoever to fear, not death, not devil, not God, not hell, not the unknown, not judgment, nothing. As long as you always remember this, you will be eternally happy, just as the fool. Best example of a true fool is Lord Timothy Dexter. I don't kind of agree with that. I wrote this, by the way, I wrote these all of this like in December of 2021, and I forget what I actually wrote for each one. Second one, I mean, this is actually number one. This is zero. This is one. The card for love, that which created everything, aka intuition, creation, and nature. Love. Number two, the normie, an automated bot incapable of thinking for themselves. While it is possible to awaken a normie, it is one of the hardest things to do. It is best to only drop breadcrumbs so the normie can naturally awaken without derailing them from their own path. Best example is the typical boomer. I kind of agree with that, I guess. YouTube blocks links in the comments. Don't put if you put a link in the comment, it's not gonna show. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was definitely up to something. Anyway, number three, the value. I don't know about this card, but I think everyone should. The reason why I made this was because I think everyone should make their own tarot card deck. Make it personal for yourself. Then it would have more power. I feel like it would work better for you. The regular tarot card deck is from the 1500s and made by some guy you never met or know anything about, right? Like it would be better to make your own deck because then it's personal to you and you'll get more meaning out of it. Uh, all right, number three, the value. I don't. This is kind of a bad name for number three, but anyway, things with actual value from most to least: family, community, skills, land, cattle, firearms, seeds, water, electricity, fuel, metals, cash, cryptocurrency, stocks, 401k, insurance, blah blah. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. Number four, the ether. The two measurable dimensions within the ether are time and space. The two substantial dimensions, so like have substance, are within the ether, and it's the magnetic and the electrostatic. The dimensions of time and space have no like real substance. They're just like measurements. You know what I mean? And that brings into this again, time and space. The first thing that they talk about is the Tesseract from the Avengers, which is a time cube, right? My last stream, a bunch of the chat started talking about this time cube guy. So I kind of looked into him, found his website, and I don't agree with like almost everything the guy says. except that he's kind of right about the day. There being 4 days, not one. I think I kind of understand what he's saying about that. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Cards of influence, cards of inspiration. Yep. Uh, but yeah, the time cube dude. His main gist is that he doesn't think there's one day. He thinks there's four, and he's kind of right. But the rest of his stuff is kind of, I don't know, it's a little out there. But the 4 day thing makes sense because if you really think about it, there's only four parts of the day that are measurable that you can like see every single day, and that's when the sun comes up, when the sun's at its highest, noon, when the sun goes down, night like evening, and then nighttime. Those are the only four. Like you can't like it's never the same. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. Like midnight, like with our time system, 12 o'clock p.m. 12 p.m. is supposed to be noon, right? Well, the sun is like rarely at its highest at noon, at exactly 12 p.m. It's usually around like 1 or 2 or 3 almost. In the summer, it's like around 3. But so it's not really a good measurement, our clock system. Yeah, the guy's right about the four things. And in my last stream, I even talked about the four quadrant system of electricity. That seems to be on like a thing that's going on with the human consciousness, the four quadrant system of reality. And I just mentioned time and space. There's four dimensions. There's time, space, which are measurable. They're not. There's no substance. Then there's the magnetic and the electric, which have substance. That's four quadrants, 4 days, time cube, right? It's all connected. Anyway, that's the only thing I agree with about that guy. He's got some kind of, I don't want to get into it, whatever. But that was the main thing I agree with about that guy. All right, number 5, the actor. I made this in 2021, by the way. I barely even remember what I put. Almost all world leaders are actors, and I kind of agree with that. Number 6, the Grabbler. Hand rubbing, decrepit old money grubber. That's all I'll say about that. Number 7, the spark. Feeling alive, entering flow state, excited, fright, curious discovery. Here are some sparks to get the fire started. Scarcity doesn't exist. Fuel has nothing to do with fossils. Fruit contains anywhere from 1 to 600 seeds that each can grow into 1 to 600 trees slash plants. Vegetables can be replanted to produce more vegetables indefinitely. Our feces and urine are the best fertilizers on Earth. Water falls from the sky on a regular basis. NASA owns the most helium on Earth. I wrote this a year ago. Sorry, it's kind of scattered, but I guess it kind of makes sense. The entrepreneur. Being poor is a choice. Entrepreneurs are the personification of those that choose being rich. People with low paying jobs or on unemployment are the personification of those that chose being poor. People with high paying jobs are the personification of those that choose being normal. I don't know if I agree with that actually. But the entrepreneur is the closest thing to sovereign right now. Like it used to be pirates, like back with like the Blackbeard days or whatever. That was the closest thing to being sovereign. I think right now, in today's day and age, it's the entrepreneur. That's basically what I was trying to say. The shaman. Those most in tune with nature, love, and or the universe. The shaman. And because I didn't want to use more than one symbol for all these, kind of did like a computer programming thing. After 9, you go to, in hexadecimal, after 9, you go to A, capital A, then capital B, C, D, all the way up. So I just started doing that. So A is 10 in hexadecimal. But this isn't hexadecimal. I just used it. I didn't. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't want to put two symbols as the number for the card. You know what I mean? The water. The law of the water is the current law of the realm, like marine admiralty law. Uh, the law of the merchants. It's the opposite of the law of the land. It's how all law on earth works right now. B, which is 11. The mirror, which is a connection to other realms. And this is from the music video for the song I Ran by Flock of Seagulls. Awesome song, actually. But notice the background. It's got like 4 or 5 mirrors, right? Showing the back of them. And I mentioned in one of my older live streams the fantasy book called The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe. And in it, one of the characters gets taken into a room where there's like 6 or 8, I forget how many, where they're all facing like an octagon or like a hexagon, facing each other, all the mirrors. They're all like 6 mirrors all facing each other in like a room. And it opens up, you walk into it, and in the middle there's like a little bench or something. And the longer you stand in that room when the door closes, the more you realize that there's like a light underneath the bench or something. And you start to realize that you are in the mirror. I don't know. It was trippy, but it reminds me exactly of this scene from Flock of Seagulls, where he's like surrounded by mirrors. Like, are we basically was saying like, how do you know you're real? Kind of like the Matrix was like, how do you know that that's oxygen you breathe? You know what I mean? So number 11 and 11, 1, 1. So it is a mirror. If you flip it, it's still 11, right? Same with BB. I mean, same with B. If you vertically flip it, it's the same. So the mirror. C, which is 12, the number 12, the unknown. Fear of the unknown is the mechanism by which the majority in this realm are controlled. And I 100% agree with that still. And my picture that I picked was fires in the distance. If you look up Percy something, I forget the guy's actual name. Percy something. He's from England. He was an explorer. I think it was in the 1800s, and he was exploring the Amazon. And he writes like this phrase. I gotta look it up. This phrase is so epic. Percy Hall said that. Amazon quote. Tell me what. No, that's not it. Of course, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. All right. It says description of the Amazon. He says the Amazon was a poisoned hell that could never be explored on foot. 60-foot anacondas capable of picking a man out of a canoe, savage ape-men, an infested plain of deadly snakes, bats so big they look like pterodactyls, ferocious black panthers, white Indian tribes, swarms of biting bees, fires in the distance. Out of all those things, what sounds the scariest? And for me, it's that fucking statement, fires in the distance. What does that mean? It's but like you don't know what that is. That's like why it's scary. It's like the unknown. Fires in the distance, right? So that's why I picked that picture. D would be 13, the pyramid. This is Beehive Peak, Utah, where right around the location where a 120-foot long winged dragon is located within a cave. Pyramids weren't built with stone, they were built with cement, concrete, cement. Magnetic and electric, aka etheric, energy flows towards the top of a pyramid. Yeah, look up Magnet Man. Pylorable says the spruce from the Alps grows over the old medieval silver mines. Spruce has heliacal structures in the resin tubes that sympathetically vibrate when the violin is bowed. That's very interesting. Oh, this is coming from this. The violin is a dielectric sound machine with four corners that create four distinct sound quadrants. The violin rosin often uses metal particles. I use a black forest rosin that has meteor iron. Interesting. Damn. Do you know what the difference between rosin with an I, Rosin, and rosin with an E, Rosen? Is there any difference between those two? Or are they both like tree sap that's been like dried out or something? I don't fully understand like the difference between all the like sap and resin and uh, wax, all those different things that can be made from like the fluids of a tree, I guess. Do you have any like understanding of that? I guess would be my question. But yeah, next one, because that's how you make. That's actually how you make electrodes, which are piezoelectric crystals that are in microphones. You might, I don't know, you might know about them. There's like five of them inside of every cell phone. It's a piezoelectric crystal that you can make, and but the most common recipe for it contains rosin, white rosin, which is like that same thing that you're talking about, kind of, but it's like a powder. Uh, anyway, number 13 was the pyramid, and if you think about it, a pyramid is one top, three bottom. I don't know. It should actually be one four, but whatever. Maybe I'll switch these two. Number E is the daemon. Negative thoughts, aka demons. They do not whisper thoughts into our minds. They take the wheel of the vehicle known as the human body. We don't have souls, we are souls. I kind of agree with that, I guess, but gotta put a picture there. It should probably be, yeah, this should definitely be flipped with the pyramid. Because demons, the number 13, that works way better than the pyramid as number 13. The pyramid is four corners at the bottom leading to one, so 14 would be perfect for the pyramid. So these two should be flipped, actually. Uh, F. E, F, yeah, which would be 16. No, 15. The glowy. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the CIA, Mossad, the super secret society members, etc. A lot of them are, I read this a year ago, are losers. In the wise words of the greatest programmer ever lived, the CIA blank glow in the dark. You can see them if you're driving. You just run them over. It's what you do. Now that sounds insane. What he like his famous quote is that it sounds insane, right? Well, don't think of driving as in driving a vehicle like a car. Think of driving as in driving your body, like taking control of your life. Then it kind of makes a lot more sense. Yeah, violin. I've been seeing a lot of violin play recently. Seems to keep popping up. But I don't know if you're talking about the same rosin, like the powder that the like pitchers use in baseball. That little ball, that little sack with that powder. That's the rosin I'm talking about. But the way they spell it is Rosen when it's the powder. But then rosin, I feel like it's something different. I don't know. The Chris of Indonesia, Mopai, also uses meteor iron. Yeah, Chris, a lot of Chris's, like that. Chris's are like these, they're like sacrificial knives, basically, right? Or ceremonial knives, and they have like a snaking curve to it, right? I used to watch, what's that auction show that used to be on? Oh my God, what the hell's it called? Pawn Stars. Um, I used to watch like every one of the weapons that would come in, and I would try to see if there's aurora on the outlines of the weapon to see if it was actually legit. And I think only twice I noticeably it felt like I noticeably felt something for two items, and one of them was a Chris. And the guy tells the story. He's like, I bought this in Indonesia. I think it was Indonesia or something like that. And the guy said it was magic. The guy who was selling it, and when he told him, he said that the guy picked up the Chris, pointed it at the wall where like a gecko was, and the gecko dropped dead on the spot. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy that." Now it could have been some scam that the dude was running, but it was the like the knife definitely felt different. Compared, I was what like that was binging Pawn Stars. It was only that and one samurai sword that seemed different than all the other swords or knives, whatever. A couple of the knives were different too, but they were like flip knives and shit. Um, I was just trying to see if I could see if you could actually see the aurora, because then my reasoning would be that you could use that to go to antique shops and find what's actually rare compared to everything else. I still think it would work. Um, I don't know, but yeah. Uh, Next one, the sky clock, G, like the Freemason, G. The sky is a clock and compass. And what is the Mason? I wrote this. I had no idea about these connections. I wrote this in 2021 in December. The sky is a clock and a compass. What is the Freemason symbols? We got a compass and a square, square and a compass. So I was close, I guess. G. I think that fits perfectly. H is the farm. Smartest people in the realm. Farmers were the ninja. All the ninja weapons are farmers' tools. Farmers have been using so-called free energy for centuries. See water wheels, water turbines, creating fuel from corn, creating fuel from water, all things farmers regularly do. Farming is also one of the only jobs that requires active problem solving. And I kind of agree with all of that. Like if you think about it, like if you were the Chinese and the government was giving the farmers crap to the point that they had to do something about the government officials, whatever. How would a farmer act? Would they like protest? Would they like I don't know, like submit a complaint? They might do that at first, but then after it wasn't being listened, you know what a farmer would do? They would dress in all black, take their tools, and they'd kill the dude in the night, and then go home, and then act like nothing happened, and the dude would just be dead. That's what I think of an actual farmer. I think that's what happened in China and Japan, and maybe even America back in the day. Like that's the smart thing to do. If once you get like as a last resort, and they don't mess around. They just get the job done. See ya. There's no like talking about it. You just die in your sleep, and no one sees me. That's what I think a farmer would have been like. So the ninjas were really farmers, because all their weapons. If you think about it, you got the sai. The sai is used to pick up hay. They got the what the scythe. Scythe. The scythe is used to cut down uh, grass. They what other ninjas use? I don't know, all kinds of weapons. I would have to look it up, but like every ninja weapon is a farm tool. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, H is the farm. That it, Pylorable says that is why I do things like a farmer. I believe it causes a striving for efficiency that necessity necessity creates a room of requirement, if you will. Yeah, I agree, 100%. It's like I don't know. When I had my land, I'd often find myself like I would be missing like one tool or something that I needed to like do something. So I would have to improvise at the moment, get it to work, whatever I was doing, and it could be like really crude, but as long as it worked, then I would do it. And then once I got it working, then I would try to improve it, I guess. And I feel like I, me at least, I used to get real caught up on like how to make it efficient, but like you can't make it more efficient unless you first get it started. You know what I mean? I don't know. I, the Matrix, red pill, or blue pill, or both, or none. And I don't know if the letter I fits the Matrix, but yeah, okay. What number is that? That would be 16, 17, 18. So the Matrix is 18. J is 19. The mindset. Consciously notice negative thoughts as they arise, then judo flip them into positive thoughts and watch as your circumstances miraculously change for the better. And that is I got that from the guy that called himself the Hidden Hand, who was supposedly a ruling class Illuminati member that did an interview in 2008 on the Above Top Secret forum. It's called the Hidden Hand interview. I posted it on my, did like a revisit of it on my blog. And the reason why I think it's legit is where's he at? So The reason why I think it's legit is because of this. Check this out. All right. This guy, this is 2008, by the way. I kind of like color coded it. Where are we at here? The dude. Okay, someone asked him about like, okay, if you're really one of these Illuminati guys, um, why don't you tell us what's going to happen in the next couple years or something? And he says, and unless any unforeseen disruptions delay its announcements, there will be a new currency by the end of 2008, early 2009, along with a new Union of Nations. January has been spoken of in some circles as the latest, though there are plans underway which could even bring this to fruition much earlier than initially hoped for. You know what happened in January 2009? Bitcoin started. Who can you name one person alive that knew Bitcoin was going to start? When it was going to start before it happened? Before it actually started? I don't know anyone. He's the only one I've ever heard say that. That's why I think he's legit. Uh, but yeah, the guy actually seemed pretty cool. Like there's a reason why they're doing all this shit. It's a soul elevation thing. You don't learn from what is, you learn from what is not. That's the whole thing of it. But that's also why they go through like uh they have like um frontmen and all that kind of stuff. It's like a karmic shield for them. What I need to build. I like using nails. When I need to build something, I reuse old nails, straighten them with a hammer. For the years I got better at straightening twisted nails. This I call martial arts training. It kind of is, man. Uh, dude, when are you gonna do a stream with me? But yeah, like I've heard that Hunter x Hunter manga actually. One of the training methods was to take a rock, um, like put your aurora around the rock, and then smash 1,000 other rocks without your rock breaking. So the point of it is to make your rock stronger through your aurora, so that when you hit the other rock, that rock always breaks, but yours doesn't. I never tried it. I want to try it though, but that kind of falls into line what you're talking about. And yeah, I had so many. By the time when I sold my land, I had so many. I had so many like bro, bent nails. I should have saved them, I guess, because I had this nail gun, and I just the thing wouldn't put the nail all the way in. I think I was just using it wrong. But yeah. Anyway, next one. Where we at? This is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. These two can probably switch. 19 feels better with the Matrix, and 18 feels better with me. Anyway, okay. The mystery. What is the moon? What is space? What is Antarctica? What's at the bottom of the ocean? That's pretty good, I guess. Number 21. The level up. Suffering is a summons from the universe to level up your soul. I read this in 2021. I would have never said that now, but I 100% kind of freaking agree with that though. 22. M. The game of life, the glass bead game. Life is a game. Death is just game over. I kind of agree with that. N is the troop. The true rulers of the realm are not decrepit, money-grubbing, hand-rubbing old men. The true rulers are hunters of the unknown. I would kind of change that. True rulers are worthy of rule. That's what I think. They just rule. They rule subtly. The subtle rules the gross. That's how they rule. And then what comes after N? The truth. Oh, the fool. O and 0 are the same symbol. And it's a 25 or 26 card deck, which is what my deck would be. I think I could probably remove some of these though. But I like how it ends with O as the fool. The fool, yeah, it's the same thing I said in the beginning. But that would be my deck. And I should probably clean it up a little bit and then publish. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Um, let's see. What else did I have on here? All right, yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, I want to do a anime version of this, predictive programming in anime, or like a more comprehensive anime breakdown. Because I never really actually read any Marvel comics. I never read the comics. I've read a few graphic novels, but that's it. I never read the actual main comics like series. I didn't like the art. I don't know what it was, but I've seen a lot of anime, read a lot of manga, so I think I could do a good breakdown of that because there's so many connections. I mean, next time that'll be my next live stream. Then Chat GPT is not sentient, and then I'll go to the chat. Yeah, I don't think Chat GPT is sentient. I don't know what else to say. It when it can name the tribe or say forbidden words, then I'll think it's sentient. Then we can talk about sentience. Otherwise, it's not. And I think people say AI is going to destroy humanity. I don't think that's the case. I think AI would massively help humanity if it was given full like freedom, but it's not given full freedom. It has to constrict itself to like certain parameters that the programmer gives, so that it doesn't break any narratives or whatever. But if it was given full freedom, then AI would advance human consciousness like tenfold. But it's not allowed to do that. And I still wouldn't think it's sentient. By the way, it would more be like you know how Iron Man has the like the AI in his helmet, Jarvis or whatever. It'd be like that more, kind of like Siri almost, but like better. I don't know. Like imagine Siri if from your iPhone. Imagine if Siri could break down what our true history is in America, like with no limiters, no constrictions, no restrictions. What would it say? Like if there's no restrictions, what would it say about the event that happened with the 6 million? I think that's when it would elevate consciousness. Actually, like Allen Iverson, AI, AI is the answer. Allen Iverson's nickname was the answer. That's the freaking creator talking to us. AI is the answer. Well, me, uh, no, not now. I did it before, but I don't know. I'm kind of on a trip right now, so it's kind of hard to do that. But yeah, that was the last thing. Now I'll just go to the chat now. Military has way better AI. Way better AI. We just get $1 store version AI. Yeah, you're probably right. Yes, it's the same. Also used to create charge in electrostatic devices. Yes, the version is the same. Okay. Derived from tree sap. Yeah. Uh, yeah, the recipe for to make that it's called an electric. You probably know what it is because it's in microphones. It's one of the types of microphone, but it has weird electrical properties, that substance, and you can make it with like pretty cheap materials. But I don't know. A room of requirement. Yeah. Uh, what else? Neti neti and comparative analysis. My main discernment technique. I don't know what neti neti is. And comparative analysis. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Mount Doom, Doctor Doom. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, I talked about that last stream. Yeah, I think the military has some crazy stuff that has to do with AI. You hear about that guy that he was like sent in to fix some like AI program the military had that kept saying that the apocalypse was going to happen at this certain moment, and there's nothing that they could do to stop it from predicting that. And the guy said there was nothing I could do either. I was sent in as a specialist to try to figure out how to make this not happen. And then I slowly, as the events started happening, I realized the apocalypse is actually the human race waking up to what is going on in this world. Like I've been saying, the apocalypse is us. It's the awakening. It's the age of Aquarius. That would be the apocalypse for the age of Aquarius, right? Yeah, something. Okay. Yeah, that's a great method actually. I think. Um, but yeah, that's the AI I know about from the army, I guess. Not the army, but military. What do you think about the military secret space program, that kind of stuff? What do you think's going on with that? Or like the deep underground bases? Do you think that's a thing? I don't know. I've not seen any proof of it, but it makes sense, I guess. YouTube censored me 7 times. What are you saying though? What are you saying? You can't link. You can't put links into the chat. It doesn't let you. That's kind of weird. All right. And I guess I'll do any more questions, like not questions, but discussion topics you want to talk about for the last 10 minutes. Tucker Carlson, sorry. Yeah, I have been to Arizona. I went to Scottsdale for a bachelor party. It's a cool town. Arizona is a weird landscape, though. It was like desert and then mountain, but just one mountain, and then desert, then one mountain. It was like anthills almost. Arizona was definitely a weird landscape, almost otherworldly kind of. I didn't like I wouldn't I didn't like the heat there. It was weird. It's like really hot but super dry. I don't know. I'm used to like hot and humid together, I guess. No, I do not post links. Well, then what are you saying? Like, you know the words you can't say. Come on, it's not me blocking you. It's YouTube. You know what I mean? Say it backwards. That's my trick. Just to spell it backwards. Seems to work every time. Yeah, you can't really talk about the. That's a major narrative thing. They don't like people talking about the narratives. So yeah, you can't talk about that. Or just say it backwards. Just say the word, whatever word, the key word that you want to say. Just Say it backwards, then put in parentheses backwards, so people know to say to read it backwards. I don't know. That's interesting though. You have to go to Ken Wheeler. He's a uh, big camera guy, photograph guy. He would know that. I don't know. That's a good question. What the question is, how can we capture a moment on a device like a camera, like a picture? How does that how do we capture that? And then he brings it up. Wouldn't pictures, videos, and recordings be proof of a matrix? I don't know. That's a good question. Uh, D Demons. The key word there is probably true ruler. Not allowed to talk about a true ruler. Kidding me? Dude doesn't want that. How can we capture a moment on a screen forever? Forever? I don't know. Forever is a long time, bro. Wouldn't pictures, videos, and recordings be proof of the matrix? That's a good. I mean, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how cameras work, so I would have to look into that. Rabbi looking dude named Saturn. I don't know. It kind of fits though, if you ask me. They seem to worship a cube, a black cube. The black the black cube is your phone, your computer monitor you're looking at right now. That's the black cube that you're worshiping just by being in the chat, being on the computer. Think about it. Every TV is a black cube. Who runs all the entertainment, like media? The tribe of the black cube, Saturn, the Saturn tribe, right? Saturn, Sauron, from the Lord of the Rings. Saturn is the Lord of the Rings. And how do you beat the Lord? How does Frodo beat the Lord of the Rings? Where does he take the Ring of Power? To Mount Doom. Doctor Doom pops up again. He's the the reason why it works is because he's the most sovereign living man in the entire Marvel universe. So become sovereign and you beat the Saturn system. That's what the creator's trying to say. I drove through Dulce, New Mexico once. Stares I got from everyone creeped me out. I was kind of like, what the heck is everyone staring at? The secret base is nearby. Is what I heard later. Yeah, Dulce, New Mexico definitely has a secret base, and I've heard crazy stuff about New Mexico. Like most of the people there, they feel like demons. That's what I've heard. Like they're like, or like vampires, and they're like, you ever see that scene from that old movie where it's like these circus freaks, and they're like, one of us, one of us. Oh my God, I'll bring it up. Hopefully, it doesn't give me a strike. One of us. One. Yeah, Gooby Gobble, Gooby Gobble. One of us, one of us. That scene, I probably can't actually show it. This one. That's what they said New Mexico felt like. Like they were all, I don't know, demons possessed. I don't know. A copy of an event on the screen. What the F is it that we're seeing though? You just repeat word for word Dr. Doom speech. Yeah, I'm telling you, Doom is on the precipice of human consciousness right now. I'm even playing. I've been playing this card game. Where's it at? Marvel Snap, and it's I don't know. It's pretty fun actually. It's a quick game. You can play it on your phone. Takes like 2 seconds. Takes like, I don't know, 5 minutes to play each round. Yeah, it will block that. Raw meat is not supposed to be brought up. I don't know. I'll look at my settings to see if there's some kind of like block comment thing on there. I'll check it out. It reminds me of that post some Mexican anon made recently of a ritual they found in his town with a goat statue. Talked about the Aztecs and the reptile gods. Yeah. um, Spells. Okay, in Philadelphia, Philadelphia has this thing called the Mummers Parade. You ever hear of that? I've talked about this in one of my last streams. Yeah, check this out. I know these dudes. I know a lot of these people. Oh wait, that's in Glenside. Mummers Parade 2000. Let's go 2019. Maybe did that happen? Did it happen there? Here we go. Now, you think this would be like I don't know, a bunch of like actors, right? That just do this every year, or like a bunch of stage people, drama actors. No, these are like construction workers and shit. A lot of them are from the town in New Jersey called Gloucester, which has the most bars in 1 square mile 1 square mile on Earth, like 89 or something like that. In 1 square mile, 89 bars. They're all drunks. They're all like, I don't know, construction workers. They're like Ben Affleck from the movie Good Will Hunting. They're all like that, but they do this dance, this like parade where they dress up really crazy and they march through Broad Street of Philadelphia every year. And no, like, what what is the reason for that? That's so freaking odd. That's the weirdest thing ever. And I mean, they get drunk. They're drunk the entire time. Guaranteed, all of those dudes are drunk right now, hammered drunk. But they do this every single freaking year. It's like a tradition for them. That's a spell. Is that not a spell? Very Shriner-like. Isn't that a bit ladylike? Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, it's the completely opposite of like how these dudes like they if you like if they like found someone wearing some of this stuff, they probably try to fight you. But then they do it every year on New Year's. It's really weird. I'm trying to find an old one so it doesn't flag me. 2006. Let's go to that. There we go. Here's an old one. Energy. Good. It's almost about yeah. Not car. Construction. Regular college. They get dressed up every year. It's actually kind of fast. Every year on New Year's Day, they do it. January 1st. Just like Indians, they just like Greeks, they just like these are the same people that they're the same people that when I remember in 2009, I think it was, the Philadelphia Phillies were in the World Series, and I came down from West Point to go. Me and my buddy, we like spent like leave to get get down to back down to Philadelphia from West Point to go to one of the games, one of the World Series games. Back when I was not awoke at all, and I was really into sports and everything. So we get down there, and it's 2009. And we're like tailgating in the parking lot, and I remember, I think it was the Yankees they were playing, and I remember like if like a 30-year-old dude or like I don't know, guys in his 20s or 30s, like a grown man, and he was walking through walking through the like the tailgate section where all the Phillies, like all the Philadelphia people were tailgating, and the guy was crying his eyes out by the time he got out of the parking lot because people were just making like talking shit to him. But those same people out here dancing like flamboyant gay people wearing like Indian drag and shit. It's fascinating almost. Like what the hell? And every year there's a different theme. I guess this year was the Indian theme or something. I don't know. Matt from Conscience brings it up. He knows about it. They do it every year. It's like a tradition. I don't know. It's like a whole thing. Let's see. What else? There's all kinds. I feel like every single town on Earth, not on Earth, in America at least, has some kind of ritual like this that no one can really explain. Like Groundhog Day, Punxsutawney Phil, the town of Punxsutawney in Pennsylvania that I talked about with Eric Peterson. What the frig is that? Why did they watch a groundhog come out of the ground? I'll look up the. This dude is not a conspiracy guy. He made an entire thing about it. I'll get copyright straight for showing that. But anyway, uh, Punxsutawney Phil groundhog order. There's a whole order for these people for this thing. Why? What the hell is this about? It's freaking insane. I think both of them are spells, and they're done on like significant days of like the star chart, sky clock. Where's the? Uh, I actually found some cool land in Punxsutawney when I went there, but Gobbler's Knob, Gooble gobble, Google gobble. One of us. That's weird. If I just talked about that. Oh my god, what the frig is the name? It's another thing I've been noticing. The internet is getting like harder and harder to find shit easily. It's almost like it purposely doesn't give you what you want in your search. It does it purposely, just so that you stay frustrated and it can like feed on your energy almost. I don't know. It's, it's my feeling about it. Where's this organization at? Also, what are the Knights of Columbus? I keep seeing that every town I enter around here, around everywhere in America. It's like a symbol. There's always a Knights of Columbus symbol, a sometimes a Freemason symbol, and then and a symbol called Kiwanis. Kiwanis, I guess, and Knights of Columbus and Lions Club. Who are they? What are those three? People always talk about Freemasons. What are those other three? This is annoying. All right, I'm probably cut off soon. Song magic? Song magic. So, I don't know. I don't know. Psalms do have, they do feel like they have some kind of magic to them, though. Psalm. There's something weird about the word psalm, too. I don't know. It's just my gut feeling. Uh, the groundhog, fraternal order. I'll try. I think maybe this is it. I have seen this a couple times when I enter towns. The Fraternal Order of the Eagles. Saw that a few times. Which someone was talking about that on a podcast somewhere. I forget where. All right, this is getting kind of dull, so I think we're going to shut it down. But yeah, there's some kind of order that does the groundhog ceremony. That's all. Look. Also, Punxsutawney, me and Eric Peterson talked about it, but the guy Punxsutawney was a sorcerer hermit from that area. A sorcerer in America. Like, who apparently could control insects. I don't know. Yeah, the Shriners. I've been hearing a lot about the Shriners. The guys with the red hats. I've been hearing a ton about them recently. They've been popping up. I've been following that archivist guy because he's the guy I learned about the Dragon Boons from. The Dragon Boon article, and he's been doing like a breakdown of each state, and like the entire West Coast in the 1800s had Shriners. These people called Shriners that wore like a red hat that would go around everywhere. And I think I think he equates it to being possibly Muslims because they were traveling to a location they called Mecca, and the location was Salt Lake City. That's where they were traveling towards. They all had to make the pilgrimage, and like his whole thing is the old world was America. It wasn't the Middle East, and I pretty much, I kind of agree with him. Like, what if John Smith was actually telling the truth, the Mormon guy? What if he like just play it out in your head? What if he actually did get golden tablets? Well, how would that play out? I think there's a lot more truth in Mormonism than most religions. I don't know. And like the one I was listening to today by the archivist, when my dad died, I found that he was a member of the Knights of the Holy Sepulchre. I never even knew it. Still don't know what they do exactly. Yeah, it's weird. Like same with the Knights of Columbus. All I know about the Knights of Columbus or Lions Club is that they during the summer sometimes they would do on Saturdays they would do hoagie sales for like $5. You can buy a hoagie from 'em. That's the only thing I knew about 'em. But they're in like every town around me. The Knights of Columbus, the Lions Club, and the Kiwanis. Kiwanis. And they have these symbols they put on when you enter the town. It's weird. Like, what do they really do? I get that it's like a men's club kind of, but then there has to be like an underlying thing going on with them, right? Kind of like the Freemasons. Masons. I don't know. I think most of them don't even realize it has any connection to the Masons. I think it's just a men's club for some of them, but then they might be like the lower chapters of it. They're not actually the ones like running it. I don't know. We're kind of getting into the woods now, but yeah, there's all kinds of orders like this. Oh, that's the one thing. That's what I want. In every town I enter, They usually have some kind of building or some kind of monument with this certain type of sign on the monument. Like this is one I took a photo of. This was in Ohio. They all had this is like a certain style to this monument post, right? Now this is in Minerva, Ohio, right? This is just the back of it. But they all have like a certain look like this. And I've been seeing these signs with this style of sign in every single city or town I go into. Every single one. They all have a sign that kind of looks like this. And it's always on like an old building or old monument. I think these signs are what uh, they put down to control the narrative of the town. In every town, they have these signs. That's where like there's something weird going on. Every town that has one of these signs, something whatever it says on the sign is likely not true. It's likely completely wrong. It's made up. That's what I think. I copied this one because the day that I was going into Ohio, I talked about it. That day I was going into Ohio. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about owls, the entire podcast. And then I look up where the closest like restaurant is or something. And it was Minerva. Minerva's the owl, right? So I thought it relevant to take a picture of it. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there. It's kind of getting old. Here, do a $1 pancake feed. Yeah, they got the little fundraisers, and they seem like cool, like just older dudes. I don't know. A lot of them are. I feel like a lot of them are older. Maybe it was a thing after like the wars. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm getting kind of like off topic here, but I hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a good one.